My name is Katsumi Suinaga. I'm a regular worker at a regular job. I'd like to tell you about my best friend. I have a best friend that is the same age. His name is Yasuo Funaki. He's destined to take over his father's business. We've known each other for over 10 years. We were a team for badminton in high school. We also went to the same college. After college, I started working at a regular job as a salesman. Yasuo was working at his father's company. We had completely different stories, but there were no problems with our friendship. However, we both hadn't spoke to each other in a while because we were both busy. Then, one day, I received a message from him. Yo, it's been a bit. How you been? Oh, dang, it has been a hot minute. I'm good, how are you? Yeah, just the usual. Actually, I'm gonna get married. What? Sorry, I was just surprised. I was frozen in place from how shocked I was. You don't have to be that surprised, LOL. We're only in our 20s. I mean, we're close to our 30s though. It's not too soon. I guess you do have a company to take over. That makes sense. So, who's a lucky lady? I think I haven't introduced you to. It's a lady of some company we used to do business with. Oh, is this some kind of political marriage? LOL, relax on the drama, my guy. It's not like that. I mean, it does affect my work, but I definitely love her. Okay, well then I'm happy for you. Which reminds me, I have a favor to ask from you. What's up? Can you give a speech at the wedding as the best friend? You want me to be the best man? Shouldn't you pick someone who's more established? LOL, who else would I choose? I would be more than honored. Thanks! I'll be waiting for a moving speech. I was in a good mood after he asked me for this favor. About half a year later, Yasuo's marriage was underway. It was a sight to behold. All the higher-ups were lined up in this massive hallway. Of course, his parents were also there. There were also familiar faces from university. Everyone was so happy with Yasuo's marriage. Is that his wife? Man, she's gorgeous! I never met his wife-to-be, and he was right. She was the lady of a company's CEO. Both of the households were established and wealthy. The marriage would bring nothing but wealth to all parties involved. But they seemed happy to be with each other, so it seems like it wasn't a political marriage. That made me even happier for them. As the ceremony was coming to an end,
We'd like to invite the best man to come give a speech to wrap things up.
I walked up to give my speech, holding by my adrenaline. I looked at Yasuo and walked up to the stand. Hello! First off, congratulations to the two of you. I'm so happy that my best friend was able to find such a beautiful person to marry. I started off with all the cliche stuff first. I have two things in these past 6 months that surprised me. One, of course, that my best friend was married. The second was that my best friend was the world's biggest piece of shit. The crowd started murmuring. Even Yasuo was mumbling something in the distance. But I didn't make a mistake. I wasn't joking. I came here today to do this. This started from a year ago, right before Yasuo mentioned marrying. I was just having a beer after work when I received a call from Kanikawa, an old high school friend. Yo, it's been so long! Do you remember me? Of course I do. How you been, man? Yeah, I'm just a regular old employee. Me too. So, what's up? Oh, so we have a reunion with the OG badminton players. Oh, that sounds fun. I'll swing by if I can. Okay. Did you ask Yasuo? Actually, something happened. Is Yasuo dating your sister? Emika? I don't think so. Really? I saw them together. So you saw my best friend with my younger sister? Yeah, they seem to be hitting it off. Maybe I saw it wrong? Or it wasn't your sister? I don't know. I'll ask her though. I have a younger sister. Her name is Amika. And when I received the call, she was a sophomore in college. I took good care of her, especially since my parents were gone with work. Both our parents passed away in an accident, so we've been supporting each other since. I am my sister's brother and father. Of course, Amika has met Yasuo too. It was when we were in high school and she was in elementary school, so it would be strange if it developed into a romantic relationship. But they're old enough to decide what they want. The strange thing was that I hadn't heard about it from either of them. I decided to contact Amika and have dinner, since it had been a while. I asked her, as a matter of fact, like as we ate. "Hey, so, have you found a boyfriend yet?" She denied it while acting strange. I knew she wouldn't really want to talk to me about it, considering the person she could be dating was my best friend. I left it alone that night, but then I felt terrible for not asking about it further. I got a call from the hospital. Apparently, my sister was in an accident and was having emergency surgery. I ran to the hospital in a hurry. By the time I was there, the surgery was underway. I spent the longest night waiting. The surgery was successful, but it lasted so long. We were simply waiting for her recovery, but I felt so bad seeing her wrapped up in all of the cast and bandages. They were also concerned that she would be left with permanent scars. A few days after the surgery, she woke up. They let her recover for another week, when I decided to ask what happened.
My name is Amika Suinaga. I'm a 20-year-old student. My brother is the only person in my family. I was interning in a certain company when I stumbled into someone. I ran into my brother's best friend. I was only in elementary school, so it had been a while. We grabbed some drinks and talked about our future and jobs. We started dating after we caught feelings. We talked about it and decided to keep it a secret from my brother since it would be a little awkward. After we started dating, the sweet and kind side of him started disappearing. He added a GPS to my phone and I had to keep it on at all times. Basically, he had to know where I was at all times. If there was some kind of mishap, he would chew me out for hours. It would take even longer before he got over it. He didn't think about my schedule at all and had no chance to argue back. I was so tired of this life that I began to get sick. I couldn't tell my brother anything, but I believed he still loved me. That ended when I went to his house when I forgot something. I could see that his door was open and a woman walked out. I froze out of shock. I saw them giving a very deep goodbye kiss before she left. I went straight to his house afterwards and asked him about it. He was acting like nothing happened. He slapped me and chased me out of his house. And that's how I was dumped. I tried so hard and I was thrown away like a piece of lint. I was in such shock that I began to float down the road. I didn't notice that a red light was there and I tried to cross the road when...
That's what she told me. I felt like I was betrayed as well. As this all unfolded, I received a message about his marriage. I gave the okay to him while holding back my anger. Yasuo kept talking to me like nothing was wrong. He probably assumed my sister wouldn't say anything. He would never ask about a wedding speech if he didn't think so. It was so difficult to contain myself around him. But this was all so I could cause the greatest amount of damage to him. And that's how I ended up here, giving a speech to everyone. I learned that my best friend is the biggest piece of shit. I didn't care what people thought. I just kept talking. He treated my sister like an object. Then, he cheated on her with that girl there. Then the hall staff tried to stop me. I don't know who gave the order, but there was no way I was stopping. I kept going, but then...
He's telling the truth. I was truly a victim of DV from him.
Amika? Apparently Amika had snuck into the wedding hall as well. I didn't predict this. Amika began to reveal everything about him. She even began showing photos from her phone. The hall staff couldn't stop this anymore. Amika hadn't made a full recovery yet, so it was impossible for anyone to do anything to her. Not only that, her appearance made her story even more credible.
That man is insane. I don't know what he'll do to you if you get married to him.
She called out to the bride to be careful. It was too crazy for it to be a wedding anymore. The hall staff were all panicked, and the bride was frozen cold out of disgust. Apparently, she didn't know.
What the hell, Yasuo?
No! That insane bitch is making things up!
Really? So the photos and messages are fake too? Or are you gonna work to destroy her phone too? You wanna cause more pain?
Yasuo was at a loss, watching the bride losing her mind. All of the guests showed up too. It was a pity I couldn't stay and watch everything till the end. The security guards took us out and we had to leave. But you would be crazy to think I regret it all. Amika, how are you? You need to calm down and rest. I really didn't expect you to show up to the wedding hall.
I mean, I was the biggest victim. I had to do what was right.
That's true, but
Sorry I didn't talk to you sooner. Thank you for always trying to protect me. You looked really good today.
of course, we're family.
I don't have anything left after dating that man. I felt like I just had to do anything that man asked of me. Now that I think back, maybe I was just brainwashed. If I fight back, he hits me. If I try to talk about it, maybe something worse would happen.
I held Amika tightly as she began to cry. I will never forgive him for this. I am also disappointed in myself for not helping my sister sooner. From here on out, I'm gonna talk about what I heard happened afterwards. The bride-to-be called off the wedding. That made complete sense. She should be afraid. Because he caused such a mess, the father decided to never deal with his son again. With the amount of higher-ups there at the wedding, it made sense. Apparently, Yasuo had already had this sort of thing happen before. The father had to take care of it for him. This was probably the last straw. However, that is of no value to us. I told Yasuo's father that I plan on suing Yasuo. The medical fees, the pain and suffering fees. I am so terribly sorry for causing harm to your precious sister. Sir, with all due respect, if he's a repeat offender, he should have been punished or fired. Why didn't you? Maybe the other woman and my daughter wouldn't have been hurt by him. You are completely right. I just believed that he would change his ways. However, after this series of events, I know that I need to change this. All of the pain and suffering, the counseling fees, the living fees, let me pay. I understand that normally we should have a lawyer and conduct a police investigation. I was really hoping that you would accept this as an apology. You're gonna cover for him again? I couldn't hold back anymore. I started raising my voice when Yasuo's father said something I'll never forget. No, sir. This is all the money that Yasuo currently has. It is the money that has been withdrawn from his salary, and the money that I have paid him for living. I will cover for his pain and suffering on the bright side, but he will eventually pay it back. What are you gonna do with Yasuo? He will be fired, and I will have him work at a certain company. It's a specialized cleaning job to clean up folks who have passed away in their home. It will take a severe toll on his mental health, but I will be sure to take away his smartphone, and he will live under my surveillance. I will be using 90% of his pay there to repay my money. If he is arrested, he won't be able to start paying it off sooner. More than anything, I think he will be better served working hard labor than being stuck in jail. Amika and I were shocked with his plan. It definitely sounded like his father's plan was significantly worse than being arrested. But Amika wanted him to be judged lawfully. She was very confused. Do you want him to be taken into court?
Yes, sir. The story has already propagated into mass media. If I accept this settlement now, all of Yasuo's in the world will think that they're doing is acceptable as long as they can pay it all off. I can't accept that.
Yasuo's father fell into a dead silence after seeing Amika in tears. He could do all of what he said after Yasuo was arrested, and the father is still paying for settlement with the bride. Long story short, he doesn't want his son to be a criminal. Sir, this pay is more than enough money for us, but we want him to be arrested, not to receive money. So, the next time we meet, it will be through our lawyer or in court. Understood. Miss Amika, I apologize for offending you so much. Next time, I will be ready to treat the situation correctly.
Yes, please.
After our lawyers spoke to each other, we officially sued Yasuo for domestic violence. Amika received an official mental diagnosis of PTSD due to DV. He was charged with assault, blackmail, and battery. Because it was so intentional, he was sentenced to 3 years in jail. The accident was also accepted as a result of his DV. He was forced to pay for cost of living, medical bills, and college fees. A compensation of $250K was sentenced on top of that. It's still $50K less, but we are much happier with the fact that Yasuo was sentenced to jail. Over the course of 3 years, she completed her rehab and was re-enrolled into college. She took an extra year, but she graduated. She intends to help those women who are the victims of DV like her. She is publishing her own essay as well. Man, it's already been 3 years, huh? Amika isn't talking about it, but Yasuo is about to be released. No matter what happens, she will always be hurt. Just thinking about it makes me furious. After he was released, his father kept his word and continued life under 24-hour surveillance. 3 years ago, I told his father that I wanted him to follow his plan after Yasuo was released. I even have a contract with that offer. About half a year after he was released, I received a call from his father. Mr. Katsumi, it has been a while. It's Yasuo's father. Yes, it has. I have kept my word as promised. He is working in a special cleanup unit. He is working every day without trying to flee. He does seem to be vomiting every time he works, so they are saying it might take some time before he's of any use at all. I see. I'm actually surprised he hasn't tried to run away. I have all his money and phone, so it would be pretty amazing if he got away from all of our security. He knows he can't run. He also doesn't have anything to end his life, so... Just out of curiosity, how long will it take for him to repay everything? 200K for the wedding? 100K for the settlement? 80K for all the other fees, and we're looking at 380K total. Now, he takes about 2,500 a month, and he's repaying 2,200 a month, so about 172 months, or 14 to 15 years. Knowing he wouldn't be released until that long, I felt relieved. Of course, I don't think 15 years is enough for the crimes he's committed to all the women over the years. But after 15 years, he will be over 40 and a convict. He won't have savings, and he can't find another job. Special cleanup is an important job that is necessary. If he does that for 15 years, maybe he'll be a decent human. After everything is said and done, I hope he has a chance to look back on what he's done. He also promised to stay in touch. I will be able to see what happens to Yasuo. After 10 years, Amika was able to find someone who accepted her past and married. She began convincing me to get married. I would like to get married if I found someone, but I'm just glad to see Amika happy.